right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. As advertised, my name's Heather Pristash. And what I want to talk about today is an incredibly valuable life skill that also involves Lego, at least one of its manifestations. So, I expect everyone in here remembers the Lego movie. And, you know, free bonus earworm if you don't.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome when you live it out a dream. Everything is better.
Okay. So who saw this? Who liked it? I did. It's a fun movie. Better than it needed to be, I think. Like it was one of those that kind of surprised it was that good, but it really was. And it was a huge hit, right? Like this made serious money. Made enough money that it got a sequel. Wouldn't surprise me if they kept coming. Fun movie. What's the problem? Well, the problem is you're being experimented on slightly and manipulated. So, yes, it was a super fun movie. This was also a huge ad. And if you don't think that was deliberate, man, I got bad news for you. This was absolutely deliberate marketing strategy on the part of Lego. And it worked. Big time it worked. This is something that they saw a huge sales boom that they're still riding. And they were able to advertise not only their properties, but they were able to go off of the licensed characters that they do. I mean, maybe you're not all excited about Lego. You might be excited about Batman. Might be excited about characters from Lord of the Rings, from Harry Potter. And when you're watching a movie, you're not necessarily thinking, oh, this is an attempt to sell me things. But it was. And it really, really worked. I mean, their chief executive was talking about dancing and singing. The different numbers vary on how well this worked. But it worked in a big, big way. Millions. Why did it work? Smart use of multimodal rhetoric. So when you see an ad, that ad is very specifically engineered, and in this case, that movie, to give you a very specific message and manipulate very specific behavior. It might be fun. It might have a great song. Might have, you know, a great performance by one of the lesser Chris's. But it is still an attempt to manipulate you. So, step back for a minute, areas within English. So we've got a few. Literature, which I also teach, but different things, study of text, creative writing. Composition, study of writing, those who are in English 1010, 1020, that's what you're in. And rhetoric. Rhetoric is related to comp, but it's a different thing. And that's what we're getting into today. So who's heard the term rhetoric before? Yes. Okay, what did it mean? Everything's rhetoric. Man, why didn't I use that as my title for this? Thank you so much for putting it that way. Everything is rhetoric. Okay, it can be. What specifically, like where have you heard people talk about it?
Like stop signs are rhetoric. Just anything you see is signs, anything's rhetoric.
Okay, that's definitely a way to look at it. Anyone else ever heard the term rhetoric? What kind of context did you hear it in? Anyone hear anyone talk about empty rhetoric? Frequently when it comes to politicians? That it's just, oh, they're just saying something? So rhetoric is an area that it's one of those terms that sounds really simple, but it's really complex. And you have a lot of people struggling to define it. So one of the older definitions, a good, and I have person, it was originally man, because, well, Greeks and Romans would have been horrified that a woman was up here lecturing you about rhetoric, which is part of why I enjoy doing it. But a good person speaking well. Then we have available means of persuasion by Aristotle. You see that one a lot. How do you persuade somebody in a given situation? A communication associated with deliberate action. This is from Kirsch and Royster, who are feminist rhetoricians, saying any communication that wants you to do something. So your stop sign example is great, because what does the stop sign want to get you to do? Stop. It wants you to understand that this is an important bit of communication. And Herrick's, which is just painfully wordy, but he's not wrong. So what's important there is it's planned and it's shaped to an audience. So a leaf falling from a tree, not rhetoric. It's not planned. It's not something that was meant to reach an audience. But maybe if you make a poster using that leaf to talk about the wonders of fall, or pumpkin spice latte, buy one now. That's rhetoric. It can be used as part of it. So all of these are okay definitions. I don't love them, but they work. This is what I really like. Rhetorical triangle. So rhetoric is the relationship of these three things: speaker, audience, subject. So let's say, well, let's use us. So I'm up here talking to you about rhetoric. So let's say that I want to talk about rhetoric, but I'm talking with a fellow member of the English faculty. Am I probably going to be standing here with a PowerPoint at the front of 1302 talking in this big way? Probably not. Let's say you wanted a message about safe driving techniques. I probably wouldn't be your speaker. I mean, I'm not bad, but it's not my specialty. So looking at the relationship between how a specific speaker conveys a specific message to a specific audience, what is the best way to get it across? How does that message change? In fact, this is, if somebody wants to, well, if you have time Wednesday night and you want to check out the Zoom, I guarantee when I'm not standing in front of people talking like this, the way that I'm expressing this message will change slightly. It'll still be the same message, but it will be a different audience, different setting. So the relationship between audience, speaker, subject. Okay, that's great. Who cares? Well, the thing is, once you understand something about this relationship of three things, and the fact that this relationship is very deliberately used, like the fact that I did this PowerPoint thinking of you folks, you know, the fact that I'm wearing this as opposed to like my super schlubby sweats, the fact that you're sitting here in a setting that is academic, that you know you need to be here for a class. All of this is part of our rhetorical situation. And understanding that, and understanding what techniques I'm using, and using those to analyze my message, that's rhetorical analysis. Now in this case, my message, trying to persuade you that rhetoric matters, I mean, not terribly dangerous. I'm not trying to get you to like go out and like take over the school or something. But in other cases, people use rhetoric to persuade other people in many more important ways. For instance, we often talk about rhetors who were some of the greatest of the 20th century. And there's two names that come up a lot. Who do you think they might be? Who was an important speaker? or conveyed important messages to groups of people. Yeah. Martin Luther King Jr., absolutely. Like, I would put one of the great top two. I mean, after all, I have a dream. If I say those words, you still get the reference. You know what I'm talking about. But also, the impact that he had on people was huge. Absolutely, I would say one of the top two. Who else? Hitler. Absolutely. So, understanding what kinds of persuasive techniques that somebody is using might allow you to appreciate the artistry of their message in a case where it is a good person speaking well, like Martin Luther King Jr. Or it can help you protect yourself in a case where it is not a good person and it's a person who's manipulating desperate, scared people into doing really some horrible things, in the case of Hitler. So, I mean, this is really important skill set to have. But also, okay, let's talk about the everyday. Spending money. Every ad that you see that's selling something is using these same rhetorical techniques to separate you from your money. Now, how's that for understanding something and being able to defend yourself against manipulation? Pretty important. So, if you understand rhetoric, you can protect yourself from companies just manipulating you into spending money or into getting into other behavior. So where do we start? Okay, this is a really good breakdown that I like a lot and I use in my classes. And they call it REALM. Reader, essay, author, limitations, motivation. Okay, so let's turn this into, did you guys have a question or? Okay. Let's turn this into the terms of an advertisement. So, reader. For an advertisement, what word would we substitute there? Like, say you're watching an ad on YouTube, on TV. Yeah. Consumer, viewer. So, understanding what consumers you're talking to in an ad is huge. Ad agencies spend a lot of time and money in order to do that. Anyone in here in marketing classes? It's amazing to look at the detail with which they break that down. That they are selling to a very specific audience and not just like, oh, you know, young white men. It'd be like, guys in this age range, within 3 years of this, living in these zip codes, who have these hobbies, very, very specific. So they know who they're talking to. Okay, essay. What would we substitute for that? I'd go with ad. The ad itself, the text itself. Author. What would we substitute for author in the case of an ad? I'm sorry? Creator, maybe. I would also look at the company, too. We all know that ad agencies are a thing, right? Like, there probably isn't a room in Lego where they're all making this ad because they hire it out. They find experts. But they're working on their behalf. They're doing what that company wants. Limitations. This is a really important one with ads. So limitations exist, but they're going to be different than another text. So what kinds of limitations does the audience impose on the writer? How does the context of what's going on in the argument shape what the writer can do? So for instance, when's the last time that you saw an ad on network television that had full frontal nudity? Not so much? Why not? I mean, after all, sex sells, right? So why aren't we like selling Audis with fully naked people?
People that don't like that.
There's people that don't like it, absolutely. And because there are people who don't like it, there are codes of what you can and can't do at different times on broadcast television. Or if you're getting into cable channels, what you can and can't do on a specific channel. I mean, after all, you've seen ads where they're like, banned, ad, you know, it's like on YouTube, banned ad, too hot for TV, whatever. Stuff that might not be something they could put on television. So no, they're not typically selling Pepsi with like video of orgies. Like they can't do it and it's not a match for the product, right? What else? What other limitations are there for an ad? I'm sorry? Time, exactly. They can't spend like thousands and thousands and millions of dollars on every ad ever. Ad time costs money. I mean, you know, the Super Bowl ads that are a big deal every year, it's literally millions and millions of dollars for 30 seconds. You have to pay for that time, you have to make it count. On the other side of it, time is in the production of the ad. Shooting something costs money. Hiring people, costuming people, getting a director. One of the really famous Super Bowl ads, the first one that was a big deal, used the same director as the first Alien movies, as Blade Runner, Ridley Scott. So, I mean, the guy who made Gladiator, he's not working for free. He's getting paid. And so that's a limitation. Also, what about, let's see, what about competitive products? I mean, we see ads all the time of fast food chains going back and forth, right? You ever seen fast food chains say that you'll get food poisoning if you eat at the other joint? Why not? What do you think could happen? They get sued. Big. Absolutely. They know they can't do it. Now, that said, will they do everything they can, tap dancing up to that line of implying that you're going to die of food poisoning if you do? Oh, yeah. Will they actually say it? They're not going to cross the line of something that's legally actionable. So there's limitations. Ad, motivation. So what's the motivation for an ad? I'm sorry? To sell their product. To sell their product or to get you to do something, always. And keep in mind, even when you see an ad, you know, have you seen an ad recently that made you laugh? Made you smile, that was heartwarming? That's great. It's still there to get you to spend money or do something. Even if you laughed, even if you thought it was cute, even if it gave you the feels, it's there to get you to do something. Okay. All of this is great. Let's apply it.
This is not a brick. This is not a brick. It's their wildest wishes.
So, Let's apply that REALM acronym. So, reader. So for that, we're going with viewer or consumer. Who is it? Who's the audience here? Us? Okay, let's get more specific. I heard parents. What else? Parents and kids. This is a smart ad. Because it's simultaneously trying to talk to the parents and pull on their heartstrings. Like, oh, you know, it's going to be their dearest wishes. Do you want to give your kids what they wish for? Give them Lego. It's giving them anything they want. Plus, they show the parents themselves as being swept up in this adventure. Like, oh, if you buy Lego, then you're going to get involved in it. You're going to have like this fun parent-kid playtime. You know, they're not showing like, oh, if you buy Lego, your kid's going to, yeah, whatever, thanks, Mom, and then like go off to their room and you'll never see them again. You're going to have bonding time and togetherness. And for the kids, I mean, it's fun. There's explosions. There's things happening, right? So you have both of them together. The ad itself, what did you see? What jumped out at you as interesting? Each kid had different vehicles and items. And if you're paying attention and thinking about it, those are also coming from like different properties, different franchises. Like maybe somebody watching really likes Star Wars. Hey, let's talk to them, but let's not just do it for Star Wars. Let's talk to the kids who want a dragon too. So all the kids have different stuff. What else stood out?
The quality of the commercial.
The quality of the commercial. How so?
It kept you involved. It wasn't boring. It drew you in.
That's a really interesting thing, that it kept you involved. I would say part of that is also how fast it moved, that you had these little mini scenes. And this puppy's like, what, 1:04? And you see like several different kids in different play scenarios, one after the other after the other. And it is well made. Like this looks like it's shot very well, like they spent money on it, which tells you something about them. Anything else you noticed?
Kids playing together.
There's multiple kids. Now, that's interesting, because in some cases you got kids playing together, but it's more kids playing with parents. So, but you see different kids, and you see different ages of kids, you see different races. You know, it's a mix. They're going for diversity. Any kid can play with Lego. Lego's for everyone. Absolutely. Okay. We could keep going on this one, but let's talk about the author. Let's talk about the company, Lego. What do we get about them here? I'd say off of that diversity thing, we get that they're for everyone. That Lego is a part of everybody's childhood and adulthood and life, and, you know, that they're this embracing force. Limitations, they can't show every possible franchise. They can't show every possible toy. So they're trying to give you a nice range. Motivation, what do they want you to do? Spend money, buy Lego. Okay, this is excellent. This is a good start. Now, let's go a little further. Artistic proofs. When we talk about rhetoric, we're also talking about these specific means of persuasion. Emotion, pathos. Now, this could be negative or positive. So when we see the kids having fun and playing, that's pathos. That's a pathos play. It's, oh, if they're having fun and playing, I'll have fun and play too. Or if we're seeing things move really quickly and we're excited, we're involved. Ethos, credibility. This is a name you trust. If it wasn't Lego, if it wasn't a company that had been around for forever, they'd have to spend time explaining what Lego is, right? But here they're just like, no, Lego, you know what it is. Logic. Now this one can be sparse in ads, but It can either be logic as in facts and figures, but it can also be the logic of organization, like the way that it's set up and going small scene, small scene, small scene, small scene, one after another. And they're overlapping them. I mean, all of that could be unfolding at once, and you could see it all happening at the same time, and it wouldn't be as effective. So, ethos, pathos, logos. The ways we persuade a little further. So let's combine all of this and watch another one.
Jurassic World Fight T-Rex is ready to rule. You can control the tail-thrashing, jaw-chomping action. You can take on any dino rival. Fight them, and smash them back to the Jurassic era. Jurassic World Fight T-Rex. Other dino rivals each sold separately. Jurassic.
So, what do we see here insofar as ethos? What do we see here insofar as credibility of the argument? Well, who's making it? Jurassic World. We know Jurassic Park. It's a franchise we're aware of. Note, they are mentioning Jurassic World, Jurassic Park, Jurassic. They've got the logo. They want you to know this isn't like some cheap knockoff dinosaur. This is like the quality plastic. So, pathos, what's going on emotion-wise? Yeah.
It's presented as this really big, cool thing.
It's big and cool. It's exciting. I mean, notice, the guy isn't talking like this. He's very, he's talking this way. It's very exciting. And it's real dinosaurs fighting. It's presented as this very cool thing. It's a plastic dinosaur, yo. And they're advertising a plastic dinosaur, you can make the mouth move. But listening to this guy talk and watching the way they've cut this together, oh my God, it's like the action movie of the summer. They're getting you involved. They're getting you emotionally engaged. Okay, what about logos? What about logic? Anything you're seeing here, either logic of arrangement or facts, figures kind of stuff. What does that T-Rex do? What's the one thing it can do that they talk about? It bites. And my God, do they make sure you know it? That the jaws are articulated.
World Fight T-Rex is ready to rule. You can control the tail-thrashing, jaw-chomping action.
So, neck swivel slightly, and you can make the jaws close and bite things. That's super exciting. So they want to make sure that you see that from as many angles as possible because that's the one thing that they have. And I mean, can this dinosaur move on its own? No. But they're spending as much time possible making sure you see it move. I would say also logic of arrangement. Notice what they start with. What is that? It's a clip from one of the movies. And they're showing one of the T-Rexes. They want to make sure that you see this. You know, this is not the toy. It doesn't look that good. But they open with that to set you up that that's what the experience is going to be like and get you hooked to move further. Okay. Here's another trend that I think is important to look at when we're talking about ads. So, again, we've got ethos, the credibility of the advertiser. Who are they? What kind of image are they projecting? You've got pathos, emotional involvement, logos, logic, either logic of arrangement or facts and figures. You've also got the realm acronym, laying out the things that are going on in an ad. I want you to watch this and think of those things and think of the way that they're balancing empowerment and sales.
She said, "You have big hair. You've got to do something about it."
I grew up thinking that I couldn't be blonde because Asians just didn't do that.
I've been criticized for straightening my hair, as if straightening it means that I don't embrace who I am.
A friend once told me if I put color back on my hair, It would make me look better.
Express yourself.
Stop saying that gray hair is not beautiful. Because it is. It is beautiful.
A lot of people say that curly hair isn't professional. I don't buy that for a second.
Express yourself.
When I tell people I'm a financial analyst, they're very surprised.
Express yourself. Express yourself. Whatever you do, whatever you do. It's not what you look like when you're doing what you're doing. It's what you're doing when you're doing. When you look like what you're doing, express yourself.
Okay, I'm stopping it on that because I want it up there. Okay, what'd you notice? What stood out to you? Raise your hands, yell things out, work with me, people. They didn't mention the product at all. I mean, what is Dove making that is helping these women? I have no idea. Are they all using the same product? Are they even using a Dove product? What? I mean, you show this to an alien, they don't even know what Dove makes. Like, it's probably something to do with hair. Do they make hair brushes? Do they make hair styling equipment? I had no idea. They don't tell you. There's nothing here about the product. What else? Aside from there being nothing about the product, and there is nothing. Yeah?
The women they had talk about their hair, they all focus on something that a lot of women have had issues with, that's fiber hair.
Absolutely. It's very relatable. It's not like if you are a woman or you know any women, you've heard something here. You've heard somebody talking about something here at some point. Many guys have had some of these same issues. So this is all super duper relatable. What else did you notice about the women? Yeah. They were all happy. Oh, they're all thrilled, particularly at the end. And they're getting their hair their way, hashtag love your hair. Again, we haven't seen them use any product. We don't know if they've ever used a Dove product in their life. But we know they're happy. What else did you notice about them? They're all happy. They're all thrilled.
Different races.
Different races. Different ages. We got different settings. We've got one woman in like an older pickup truck and another one stepping out of a corporate office in a fancy elevator with people with suits. Any woman can love her hair, but only with Dove. Absolutely. What else? I saw another hand back here.
I was just going to say they're all different ages.
All different ages. So any woman of any age, you don't have to be a certain age to love your hair with Dove. Again, with Dove. Okay. Anything else? The song is catchy. And even if you don't know it, you know, it's talking about express yourself, love your hair. This is all about me. Now, you can feel inspired by this. You can watch this and be like, yeah, I should do what I want with my hair. I should color it, which I should recolor mine a funky color because that's generally what I do. Need to do that. I should color it. I should grow out my gray. I should get a funky cut. I should do what I want to. And Dove's there with me. And I should use a Dove product because of that. I'll guarantee they sold product off of this. Just because people are making the association. My hair, my way. Dove. Dove is going to give me what I need. Right? So, again, we have no idea what they're doing, but we know it's very relatable. It's very approachable. It's very upbeat and inspirational, and every woman can be happy with her hair, her way. Yeah, fight the power. Free the hair. This has nothing to do with what they're doing, which is selling you something. They want to make sure that when you go to the store and you're like, okay, I gotta buy a shampoo, and you see a Dove label, you think, oh, my hair, my way. Even if you don't think it consciously, that they've implanted the message, and you're just that much more likely to reach for something with that little birdie on it. Logic of arrangement is, I think, important here too. That notice, they're all happy, and it builds to them being happy. They start off, here is my story. Here is somebody telling me something stupid about my hair, that I should straighten it, that I should color it, that it's wrong. But by the end, we got the upbeat tune, they're all happy, they're owning it. Think of how the ad would feel if it went in reverse order. Like by the end, they're all sad. You gonna buy Dove then? No. So there is a logic here. It's just not necessarily facts and figures because, again, we know nothing about the product at all. Okay. Another example of emotional appeal, and I mean, this is the bread and butter of ads, is they're working with your emotions. Because really, most of the time, they're doing as little as possible with logic. This is a different emotional play. So, I just heard something really good for this company. I just heard a whole bunch of you laugh. Why were you laughing? It's funny, it's stupid. What else? Because you heard somebody else laugh? I mean, some of that is a reaction. I see somebody else smiling, therefore I want to smile. I hear somebody else laughing, therefore I want to have the same reaction. So therefore, I'm going to relate this company to laugh, to happy. So why does this ad work? What'd you notice? So again, this is a home improvement company. And they just showed you the house falling down. I mean, home improvement. In the ad, the house is falling down. Why does it work? What do you folks think? Yeah?
Because they're not really telling you not to do it yourself.
So maybe don't do it yourself. So, but then again, their end thing, regret nothing. So that could be regret nothing because you're going to pay us for help. But what else? Yeah?
It might be because it's like, you should worry because you have us as your helping hand.
Yeah, you have us supporting you. So even if things go wrong, even if you're building something and it falls down around you, man, we got your back. We're here for you. And notice, I mean, the kid is crying. What was the music doing? Did you notice that? It was accompanying his crying, but what kind of music was it? Was it slow and sad? No. If you listen to it, the music when he's crying is happy and upbeat. Everything's going to be okay. This company is here for you. So noticing that, well, anyone ever been involved in a home improvement project and something's gone wrong? Or seen their parents? Any family stories about the time somebody like broke a toe, put a hole in the drywall, something happened? Absolutely. And this company is embracing that, and they're saying, you know what? Things are going to go wrong. That's cool. We got you. You know, if you don't want to do it yourself, we're here for support. If you want to do it yourself, we've got you, and we've got supplies you need and assistance you need. And what are you going to have in the end? A great family story, like that father and son will. So, again, what is this doing? Getting you to spend money with them. Does it tell you anything about the product? No. But it is set up to make you have positive associations with this company. Okay. So, here's my point. Is that home improvement company great? Should you spend money there? I don't know. I've never been. Is the Lego movie good? Yeah, I think so. Should you buy Dove shampoo? Give it a try. I mean, if it works, go on. But what you shouldn't do is spend money in these ways just because of the ads, just because they are trying to use the tools that they have rhetorically to compel you and to make you do what they want. If you think the Lego movie is awesome, great. If you like Dove shampoo, fabulous. But you make the call and be aware of how these companies are manipulating you and what tools they are using to change your mind and shape your behavior. So, any questions for me? All right. Well, in that case, I know you need to get to class. So let me pull up your friendly neighborhood QR code and let me get out of your way.